a few days out from Usman getting put out again when Edwards actually shows up and has a decent performance this time. But to be honest, it's going to be a close fight. I'm starting to get nervous because Usman's looking super confident leading up to this week, and he might just go out there and 50-45 Edwards, but I think he's out of his prime. That head kick, that's a career ender for me, and I'm not picking Usman because I think Edwards is just going to be an issue for him every time they fight, and I feel like he's in his prime, man. He's coming off of a super amazing win where that's going to give him a lot of confidence, knowing he can get it done when he's gassed. So let's just get into it. Veronica Macedo, Juliana Miller, my full card predictions. I'm rocking with Dan Hardy's wife. Now, if you look at the odds, a plus 340 underdog for Veronica Macedo Hardy. And Juliana Miller, she doesn't have a lot of fights in the UFC, but she does have a lot of good experience outside of the UFC. Honestly, guys, Macedo's ass. If you just look at her record, she does not have a good UFC career. She's like 1-5. Like, she's lost a lot, and she keeps taking a shitload of time off after every single one of her losses, but she's still young. She's like 28, 27 years old. And she had an interview with Ariel Helwani where she was saying, dude, like, if you're married to Dan Hardy, that's your Mr. Miyagi. He's not going to let you get into the cage without having a fucking really good game plan. And I think that if you're dating Dan Hardy and you're fighting, like, he's just going to give you this really good game plan. He's going to watch more of Juliana Miller than anyone's ever watched Juliana Miller in her own fucking life. And I think that there's just no way I could see Veronica Macedo losing if I am banking on Dan Hardy being like a really good mind in MMA. He's one of my favorite content creators. Maybe I'm a little biased. Maybe Juliana Miller's coach cares about her that much, but I don't think he cares about her half as much as Dan Hardy cares about Macedo. I'm going to pick Veronica. I think she's going to finish Juliana Miller. She's taken 3 years off. She said that she's used that time to get a lot better. And I'm not just going to look at this as, you know, she's a part-time fighter and this is just what she's doing to kind of put her foot in the game because she's still young. I think she's coming back for real, and maybe she'll just be improved from being a 1-4 fighter in the UFC. So I'm picking her by finish. She's going to get it done. I trust in Dan Hardy's coaching skills, especially when it's his own wife and he watches all the tape that he does. Jai Herbert, Ludovit Klein. I'm going with Jai Herbert, dude. I'm so impressed by this guy, and I'm impressed by his performance, even in his loss against Ilia Topuria. Almost knocked out Ilia Topuria, and it wasn't just the reach advantage. He's fast. Of course, he can fight at range. He has a very long reach, and he's powerful. I have not seen anything from Ludovit Klein that leads me to believe that this guy's just going to go out there and finish a Jai Herbert. Like, it took Ilia Topuria to be able to do that. So I'm picking Jai Herbert. I don't care if he is an underdog. I'm picking him to finish Ludovit Klein in the second or third round by TKO. Joanne Wood, Luana Carolina, low-level MMA right here. I'm so happy that this isn't on the main card anymore. That really pissed me off. Luana Carolina got destroyed by Molly McCann. That's what I'll remember her as. Molly McCann's a mid-level fighter, so really goes to show where Luana Carolina's at. Dude, I don't even care if I say her name right. Joanne Wood, come on, man. Do we even need to talk about this? It's a low-level ass fight. Jake Hadley, Malcom Gordon. Malcom, I don't think he should be a plus 310 underdog, but Jake Hadley's really good. He trains at Leon Edwards' gym. He's young. He looked good on the Dana White Contender Series. He has some really good grappling, good submission skills. He's a pretty good striker as well. Has like a freakishly long reach for the flyweight division. Is built like a Conor McGregor in that division. Looks like a fucking monkey as well. Malcom Gordon, I just think that, you know, how am I going to pick him here? He's old. He's coming off of a loss to Muhammad Mokaev. Didn't take that much damage. Looked all right in that fight. But still, I feel like Jake Hadley is good enough to get by Malcom Gordon. I'm going to pick him by submission, and I'm going to go with a Jake Hadley second round submission over Malcom Gordon. Hadley's the real deal. He's a good flyweight, and Malcom Gordon is old. He's on his way out. So, yeah, next up, Christian Leroy Duncan. This guy's a lot of hype behind him. Dusko Todorovic. I'm going with Christian Leroy Duncan. I just feel like the UFC is setting up all the UK fighters for good performances. And the same thing with Lerone Murphy, bro. Both of these guys are going to get this one done. I think that Lerone Murphy is going to go out there and knock out Gabriel Santos, who's taken this fight on short notice. I would have much rather seen Lerone Murphy versus Nathaniel Wood, and I would have picked Nathaniel Wood to beat him because Nathaniel Wood is fucking amazing. Also, Nathaniel Wood, sucks not to see him on this card. I feel like he is top 4 best UK prospects. Christian Leroy Duncan, he needs to prove himself in this fight, but I'm going to pick him to win by KO. And I'm going to pick him to win by KO in the first round. Lerone Murphy, I'll go with the third round TKO. Muhammad Mokaev wants to be the youngest champion. I don't know if that's going to happen. In the top 10 of flyweight these days, it's kind of a shark tank. I feel like he's going to take Jafel Filho to a decision. Muhammad Mokaev still doesn't look all that great on the feet. Really impressive flying knee to knock down. I forget he was fighting like Cody Durden in his debut, but I haven't really seen anything that impressive from Muhammad Mokaev. Was getting lit up a little bit by Malcom Gordon, but he does have a good grappling base. He has the wrestling advantage, and I think he's just going to grind out Jafel Filho to a decision. I don't know. There's really not much for me to get behind Muhammad Mokaev. Doesn't have the most entertaining style. I don't know. Talks about leaving MMA by the time he's 25, but that just rubs me the wrong way, to be honest, bro. Like, stick around a little bit. Come on. What is the rush? Sam Patterson, Yanel Asmov. I don't know anything about Yanel. I'm going with Sam Patterson. Chris Duncan. I'm rocking with Chris Duncan. I think he's going to go out. Dude, are these... Nah, that's not two Israelis. Yeah, Omar Morales, old man, 37. I'm rocking with Chris Duncan because of it, bro. 9-1, really good record. 29 years old, bro. He's going to get this one done. I feel like he's going to go out there and finish Omar Morales. The UK, whenever they have a card, dude, they have all their fighters with the advantages. Jack Shore, all right. Now let's get to some interesting fights where I can actually talk about these fighters a little bit more in depth. Jack Shore is coming off of a loss to Ricky Simone. I was there to witness it in person at UFC Long Island. I felt like he was going into that fight with a chip on his shoulder because he wanted to be on the UK card, which is the following week. But nonetheless, he's moving up to the featherweight division. He was killing himself with weight cuts, he was saying. And whenever we see a guy move up with the talent of a Jack Shore, they just tend to clean up shop. Like guys that may not be able to become a champion in the bantamweight division, or we've seen it at featherweight. Dustin Poirier was never able to become a champion at featherweight. Charles Oliveira, of course, we saw Conor McGregor have success moving up as well. But when guys move up, they have a shitload of success. They just happen to have the speed advantage. They happen to be a little bit more well-rounded. And Makwan Amirkhani is like one in his last 5 fights, bro. And he's old. And he has a good win over, Darren Till's boy. What's his name? The guy Darren Till is always saying he's going to war with in the training room. God damn it, dude. What's his name? Mike Grundy? Yeah, Mike Grundy. That's who you're beating. You're beating Mike Grundy, the guy that gives Darren Till tough rounds. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm picking Jack Shore to destroy Makwan Amirkhani and finish him in the second round TKO, or drops Makwan Amirkhani and submits him. That's what I think is going to happen. Dude, Makwan Amirkhani's ass these days. I'm going to just be real. Like, I saw someone saying he was underrated. Dude, fuck out of here with that bullshit. What about this guy is underrated? He gasses out so easily. He's sort of one-dimensional. And Jack Shore is pretty much as well-rounded as it gets. His win over Timur Valiev before that loss to Ricky Simone was rock solid last March on the UK card. This guy can grapple, and I feel like he's going to have a massive speed advantage at featherweight now, and I feel like that's going to do wonders for his stand-up. He's going to go out there and finish Makwan Amirkhani in an emphatic fashion to end the prelims. Marvin Vettori. Mediocre Marvin meets a shitty middleweight Roman Dolidze. Extremely one-dimensional. Yes, I feel like Roman Dolidze is probably the best grappler, most dangerous grappler at middleweight right now. But he's he's well-rounded. He's ass on the feet. He's slow on the feet. Yeah, I, for a while, thought that, Phil Hawes just rolled his ankle and it was like a fluky KO. But Roman Dolidze completely destroyed Phil Hawes' ankle. Beautiful work by him, but Phil Hawes took him down. That was kind of a dumb decision. That's kind of before we knew how legit Roman Dolidze was on the ground. And people keep making the same mistake. Jack Hermanson was running away with a victory over this guy on the feet and took his ass down and got submitted. Jack Hermanson is no slouch on the ground. I know he's a middleweight, but still. Dude, Marvin Vettori is a hard man to take down. The only guy that was able to really do it was Robert Whittaker, who is the best offensive wrestler in that division, the best wrestler in that division. And as much as I clown on Marvin Vettori, he is still like a right outside of the top 5 middleweight, super well-rounded, hard to take down, tough as nails. Roman Dolidze hits hard, but he's just kind of a thudding kind of guy. Like, he's not very fast. He's not very technical. He's slow. He's plotty. And he hits super hard. He puts his all into his shots, but he's going to gas, in my opinion. I think Vettori's going to eat him alive in the second and third round. I'm going to go with a decision for Marvin Vettori. I feel like Roman Dolidze would have to drop Marvin to get him down, and then he could maybe submit him. But, like, I just don't see that happening. Marvin Vettori is a powerhouse. He's a tank of a man. He's got the best chin in the middleweight division's history, probably, aside from Yoel Romero. And good luck hurting this guy, because Marvin Vettori, as mediocre as he is, he's been training in Thailand. Like, he's been serious about improving after that humbling that he got from Robert Whittaker, and he got his ass beat. But again, Whittaker's just a different level. Marvin Vettori can look ass against Whittaker. He can look ass against Israel Adesanya. But, like, against Roman Dolidze, who's just a one-dimensional middleweight, bro, he's going to be able to beat that guy. And Marvin is going to beat him based on grit, based on cardio, based on pace. I feel like he's still going to be the better boxer. He has some decent boxing, some decent hand speed, despite what, like, Izzy will say, saying Marvin just pushes into his punches. But, like, he's going to get this one done. He's going to get in Roman Dolidze's face, pressure him, outwork him, land good shots to the body, outbox him a little bit, and take Roman's biggest shots. Roman's going to be shooting for takedowns in the second and third round, failing. And we're going to see a Marvin Vettori decision win. This is basically what the people picking Marvin Vettori wanted to happen to Whittaker in that fight, but that's Robert Whittaker, so different fight here. Roman Dolidze shit on the feet. Super slow, lethargic, middleweight division. Vettori is actually like a solid number 6 guy in the middleweight division. I feel like he's the 6th best fighter. Maybe he could even beat Jared Cannonier. In fact, I think he might be able to beat a Jared Cannonier, but Jennifer Maia, Casey O'Neill. I'm going with Casey O'Neill, undefeated in the UFC, shitloads of finishes. Jennifer Maia is old. Just look at her to understand that. And, I mean, come on, guys. Decision merchant. I'm always going to pick the woman who can actually finish people. The same thing with Amanda Ribas. I picked her last time because I saw all the finishes on her record. And when it's women's MMA, those finishes mean a lot, dude. If you're finishing people in women's MMA, that already sets you on a different kind of caliber than most of them. So I'm picking Casey O'Neill, and I'm going to pick her by submission over Jennifer Maia, Gunnar Nelson, Bryan Barberena. Honestly, I feel like this is a better fight than Daniel Rodriguez, just because I feel like although Daniel Rodriguez used to have good takedown defense, he's getting older, and he just seems to be a little bit lazier with his sprawls and scrambles. So, like, I feel like he would have lost to Gunnar Nelson, but Gunnar Nelson's a good grappler. He's got good submission skills. Bryan Barberena just got dominated by RDA. He's dangerous on the feet. If Gunnar Nelson struggles to take him down, he's fucked. He does not have good striking at all. Why this guy is on the main card, why he's ahead of Vettori and Dolidze, I don't know. He took a couple photos with Conor back in the day. That's it. Has the karate stance like Conor used to train with him. So, like, I guess that's why the UK fans are just always on his nuts. But I'm not a fan of Gunnar Nelson. Extremely boring performances last time out. But that was also because his opponent was just not doing anything and just content with having Gunnar on his back as long as he was defending the choke. So I'm going to pick Gunnar Nelson to submit Bryan Barberena. I feel like it's going to be a good performance from him, but this is the peak for him. Gunnar Nelson's, his peak is Bryan Barberena wins. So on to the next, Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev. It's going to be a war. I'm not going to be surprised if Justin Gaethje actually gets the third round. I will be surprised if he wins, but I'll also be shocked if Rafael Fiziev makes easy work of him and barely gets hit. We've seen Rafael Fiziev have close rounds with guys that are worse than Justin Gaethje, like Brad Riddell. We've seen him have close rounds with RDA, but the threat of the takedown is there. RDA is a really good veteran, pretty underrated fighter in general, but no one gets past Justin Gaethje easily, especially on the feet. Some guy was saying that the only reason Dustin Poirier didn't look as good as Justin Gaethje in front of Michael Chandler was because of a headbutt. That's complete donkey shit. Dustin Poirier got lit up, headbutt or not. The dude got lit up for 4.5 minutes, and Justin Gaethje didn't. Dude, Justin Gaethje is an underrated striker. People shit on this guy's counters. People shit on this guy's swinging big hooks, but he does have some decent head movement. After a one-round scrap with Michael Chandler, dude, where everyone's just going to get hit. That's why I'm picking Chandler to knock out McGregor, by the way. People think, like, McGregor's been KOing guys left and right with one shot. Not a chance, dude. Michael Chandler fucked up Dustin Poirier badly and gave Justin Gaethje a run for his money. He's going to go out there and KO him. But Fiziev, I feel like he just has the kicking advantage. Justin Gaethje's leg kicks are going to be big in this fight because Fiziev doesn't really check that many leg kicks. As far as I know, I don't know if this guy can check him as well as Charles, to be honest. I feel like Charles is a better leg kicking defense, but I'm still rocking with Fiziev because I think he's going to catch Gaethje when Gaethje slips his head off to the side after throwing a big hook. Sometimes Gaethje will literally fall over himself after swinging a big hook. I think that's where Rafael Fiziev hits him with a head kick. And Justin Gaethje, 34 years old, all the damage he's taken throughout his career, coming off of a damaging loss against Charles. Yeah, but if Fiziev can't put him out, he's going to lose the third round, in my opinion. I just feel like Gaethje's gas tank is a lot better. And again, Fiziev cannot fight at a high pace. Green, someone mentioned that Green has his hands down. He's a little bit better at defending body kicks. You may be right. You're going to have a pace with Justin Gaethje. And so if he doesn't catch him, I feel like Justin Gaethje's going to beat his ass in the third. But I'm picking Fiziev. Main event, I'm just rocking with Leon. And it's just the difference in striking between Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. And Usman's previous opponents, like for sure, Colby's tough and he has pace. But Masvidal, I feel like, is even more dangerous when he catches you. But Leon Edwards is just more effective against a guy like Usman because he's a better grappler, because he's a bigger guy, because he can play the range game. Usman hasn't fought that many guys that can play the range game, not only have ridiculous speed, but also have like a certain kind of just skill and power behind their shots to keep you back. And I think Leon Edwards is going to stand his ground a little bit more in the middle of the cage. He barely really used elbows and knees in the clinch last time. I think he's going to do that this time. And he's not going to be shooting stupid naked takedowns against Usman. And I feel like if he can catch Usman, he could just jump on his back, get on top of him, and submit him when Usman is rocked. And I think he's going to rock Usman in this fight. Usman can go forward, but like you're going to have to go through the fire. You know what I mean? If you want to pressure Leon up against the fence. And yeah, Usman's going to have to take him down and really just try to hold him there for 2 rounds in order to run away with this fight. I think that Leon Edwards is ready for that. I think Leon Edwards has the ability to trip at Usman or catch him in a scramble and submit him as well on the feet, jumping on his back if Usman exposes his back during a scramble. I just think Edwards is a little bit more dangerous, 31 years old, extreme confidence, fighting in front of the UK fans, knowing he can KO Usman. I think he's going to get it done. I honestly won't be surprised if we see him land a front kick to Usman's face and knocking him out that way, or just rocking him and jumping on him. Front kick to the face, bro. Watch out for it. That's my pick. Like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with these takes. Until next time.
Me? I wake up in the morning, I have big buckwheat pancakes with 6 whole eggs, slobbered with butter.
If you're using the treadmill or you're using the Stairmaster, don't hold on to the sides.
I'm gonna out-train the guy that's waking up in the morning, eating toaster strudels, frosted crispy bites, and soy milk.
If you're one of these guys that holds on to the fucking side, I'm gonna shake through my chair. Literally, what the fuck are you doing? It's time to grind. Whether you're looking to get in shape, put on size, or improve yourself as an athlete, you could check out lucastfitness.com for my lifting programs and nutrition programs. Code MMA for 30% off. The link is in my description.